overthinking everything once again. I get so stuck in my head, can't figure out why I feel everything and nothing. Maybe it's a symptom of forgetting about a piece of love. I hear a call on my window, a song that I've always known. And when I look out, I see you there, morning dove, and you say to me.
On the ridge above the valley, you can hear that city sing, calling on the hot and dusty breeze. Reminds me of the time I spent beside your side, long before you'd ever thought you'd seen the last of me. Seems to me that we spent too much remembering, looking back and trying to fix what's already been. So I'll keep my eyes on the horizons, just so long as you can keep those pretty eyes on me. Traces silhouettes of places that I've been, and leads me to all those I've never seen. But the map I've come upon is missing just one thing, a path that shows the fastest route to get from you to me. And the time that I filled with aimless rambling, moving back from here to there without orders but free, has fixed my eyes on the horizons, waiting for the day that you set those eyes on me.
Come on.
Okay.
There we go. See, now this.
Not even close. Move it back. Come on.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Uh-huh. Beautiful.
That's literally where I had it.
No, it's not.
Oh, feisty. What are you gonna do? Oh!
Ah.
What are you gonna do? Hey!
Oh.
We'll take a break. If you shall chance, Camillo, visit Bohemia on the like occasion, whereon my services are now on foot, you shall see, as I have said, great difference betwixt our Bohemia and your Sicilia.
I think this coming summer, the King of Sicilia means to pay Bohemia the visitation which he justly owes him.
Wherein our entertainment shall shame us. We will be justified in our loves, for indeed,
Beseech you.
verily, I speak it on the freedom of my knowledge. We cannot with such magnificence in so rare. I know not what to say. We shall give you sleepy drinks, that your senses, unintelligent of our insufficience, may, though they cannot praise us, as little accuse us.
You pay a great deal too dear for what's given freely.
Believe me, I speak it as my knowledge instructs me and as my honesty puts it to utterance.
Cecilia cannot show himself overkind to Bohemia. They trained together in their childhoods, and thus rooted betwixt them then such an affection which cannot choose but branch now. Since their mutual dignities and royal necessities hath made separation of their society, their encounters, though not personal, hath been royally attorneyed through interchange of gifts, letters, loving embassies, that they've seemed to be together, though absent, have shook hands as over a vast, and embraced, as if from the ends of opposed winds. The heavens continue their loves.
I think there is neither malice nor matter in the world to alter it. You have an unspeakable comfort with your young Prince Mamilius. It is a gentleman of the greatest promise that ever came into my note.
I very well agree with you in the hopes of him. It is a gallant child, one that indeed physics the subject, makes old hearts fresh. They that went on crutches ere he was born desire yet their life to see him a man.
Would they else be content to die?
Yes, if there were no other excuse why they should desire to live.
If the king had no son, they would desire to live on crutches till he had one.
Oh. Take that, and that, and that. Oh, a job well done, knight. All right, I think I shall sit down for a little bit, yes? You go play over there.
9 changes of the watery star hath been the shepherd's note since we have left our throne without a burden. Time is long again would be filled up, my brother, with our thanks. And yet we should for perpetuity go hence in debt. And therefore, like a cipher yet standing in rich place, I multiply with one, we thank you, many thousands more that go before it.
Oh, stay your thanks a while, and pay them when you part.
Sir, that's tomorrow. I'm questioned by my fears of what may chance or breed upon our absence that may blow no sneaping winds at home to make us say this is put forth too truly. Besides, I've stayed to tire your royalty.
We are tougher, brother, than you can put us to it.
No longer stay.
1 7 longer.
Very sooth tomorrow.
We'll part the time betweens then, and in that I'll no gainsaying.
Press me not, beseech you so. There is no tongue that moves, none in the world, so soon as yours could win me. So it should now, were there necessity in your request, although 'twere needful I denied it. My affairs do even drag me homeward, which to hinder were in your love a whip to me, my stay to you a charge and trouble. To save both, farewell, our brother.
Ooh, tongue-tied, our queen! Speak you!
I had thought, sir, to have held my peace until you had drawn oath from him not to stay. You surcharge him too coldly. Tell him you are sure all in Bohemia as well. This satisfaction the bygone day proclaimed. Say this to him. He's beat from his best ward.
Well said, Hermione.
To tell he longs to see his child were strong. But let him say so then, and let him go. But let him swear so. He shall not stay. We'll thwack him hence with this axe. Yet, of your royal presence, I'll adventure the borrow of the week. When at Bohemia you take my lord, I'll give him my commission to let him there a month behind the chest, prefixed for parting. Yet good deed, Leontes, I love thee, now to jar the cloth behind with lady sheer lord. You'll stay.
No, madam.
Nay, but you will.
I may not, verily.
Verily. You put me off with limber vows, but I, though you would seek to ensphere the stars with those, should yet say, sir, no going. Verily, you shall not go. A lady's verily is as potent as a lord's. Will you go yet? Force me to keep you like a prisoner and not like a guest. So you shall pay your fees when you depart and save your thanks. How say you? My prisoner or my guest? By your dread verily, one of them you shall be.
Your guest, then, madam. To be your prisoner should import offending, which is for me less easy to commit than you to punish.
Not your jailer then, but your kind hostess. Come, I'll question you of my lord's tricks and yours when you were boys. You were pretty lordings then.
We were, fair queen. Two lads that thought there was no more behind but such a day tomorrow as today, and to be boy eternal.
Was not my lord the verier wag of the two?
We were as twinned lambs that did frisk i' the sun and bleat the one at the other. What we changed was innocence for innocence. We knew not the doctrine of ill-doing, nor dreamed that any did. Had we pursued that life, and our spirits ne'er been higher reared with stronger blood, we should have answered heaven boldly not guilty, the imposition cleared hereditary ours.
Well, by this we gather you have tripped since.
Oh, my most sacred lady, temptations have since then been born to us. For in those unfledged days was my wife a girl. Your precious self had then not crossed the eyes of my young playfellow.
Oh, grace to boot, of this make no conclusion, lest you say your queen and I are devils. Yet go on. The offenses we have made you do will answer, if first you sinned with us, and that with us you did continue fault, and that you slipped not with any but with us.
Is he won yet?
He'll stay, my lord.
At my request, he would not. Hermione, my dearest, thou never spokest to better purpose.
Never.
Never but once.
What, have I twice said well? When was before? I prithee, tell me. Crams with praise and makes as fat as tame things. One good deed. Dying tongueless slaughters 1,000 waiting upon that. Our praises are our wages. You may ride with one soft kiss 1,000 furlongs ere with spur we heat an anchor. But to the goal, my last good deed was to entreat his stay. What was my first? It has an elder sister, or I mistake you. Oh, would her name were Grace. But once before I spoke to the purpose, when? Nay, let me have it, I long.
Why, that was when 3 crabbed months had soured themselves to death, ere I could make thee open thy white hand and clap thyself my love. Then didst thou utter, I am yours forever.
'Tis grace indeed. Why, lo you now, I have spoke to the purpose twice. The one forever earned a royal husband, the other for some while a friend.
Too hot, to mingle friendship far as mingling bloods. I have tremor cordis on me. My heart dances, but not for joy. Not joy. This entertainment may a free face put on. Derive a liberty from heartiness, from bounty, fertile bosom, and well become the agent. 'Tmay I grant. But to be paddling palms and pinching fingers as now they are, and making practiced smiles as in a looking glass, and then to sigh as 'twere the more to the dear. Oh, that is entertainment my bosom likes not, nor my brows. Mamilius, art thou my boy?
Aye, my good lord.
Effects. Why, that's my bawcock. What, has smooched thy nose? They say it is a copy out of mine. Come, captain, we must be neat. Not neat, but cleanly, captain. Thou want'st a rough pash, and the shoots that I have to be full like me. Yet they say we are almost as like as eggs. Women say so. That will say anything. But sweet villain, most dearest, my collop, can thy dam mate be? Affection, thy intention stabs the center. Thou dost make possible things not so held. Communicatest with dreams. How can this be? With what's unreal thou collective art, and fellest nothing. Then 'tis very credent thou mayst co-join with something. And thou dost, and that beyond commission. And I find it, and that to the infection of my brains and the hardening of my brows.
What means Cecilia?
Something seems unsettled.
How, my lord? What cheer?
You look as if you held a brow of much distraction. Are you moved, my lord?
No, in good earnest. How sometimes nature will betray its folly, its tenderness, and make itself a pastime to harder bosoms. Looking on the lines of my boy's face, methoughts I did recoil 23 years, and saw myself unbreeched in my green velvet coat, my dagger muzzled lest it should bite its master, and so prove, as ornaments oft do, too dangerous. How like methought I then was to this colonel, this squash, this gentleman, mine honest friend. Will you take eggs for money?
No, I'll fight.
You will? Why, happy man be's dole. Brother, are you so fond of your young prince as we do seem to be of ours?
If at home, sir, they're all my exercise, my mirth, my matter. Now my sworn friend and then mine enemy, my parasite, my soldier, statesman, all, they make a July's day short as December, and with their varying childness cures in me thoughts that would thick my blood.
So stands the squire officed with me. We two will walk, my lord, and leave you to your graver steps. Hermione, how thou lovest us show in our brother's welcome. Let what is dear in Sicily be cheap. Next to thyself and my young rover, he's a parent to my heart.
If you would seek us, we are yours of the garden. Shall attend you there.
To your own bents dispose you. You'll be found, be you beneath the sky. Go to. How she holds up the neb, the bill to him. Gone already. Inch thick, knee deep, or head and ears, a forked one. Go play, boy, play. Thy mother plays, and I play too, but so disgraced a part whose issue will hiss me to my grave. Contempt and clamor will be my knell. Go play, boy, play. There have been, or I am much deceived, cuckolds ere now. And many a man there is, even at this present, now while I speak this, holds his wife by the arm, that little thinks she's been sluiced in his absence, and his pond fished by his next neighbor, by Sir Smile, his neighbor. Nay, there's comfort in't. While other men have gates, and those gates opened as mine against their will, should all despair that have revolted wives, the 10th of mankind would hang themselves. Physic for't there's none. It is a body planet that will strike where 'tis predominant, and 'tis powerful, think it, from east, west, north, and south, be it concluded. No barricado for a belly. It will let in and out the enemy with both bag and baggage. Many thousand ons have the disease and filth not. How now, boy?
I am like you, they say.
Why, that's some comfort. What, Camillo there?
Aye, my good lord.
Go play, Mamilius. Thou art an honest man. Camillo, this great sir will yet stay longer.
You had much ado to make his anchor hold. When you cast out, it still came home.
Didst note it?
He would not stay at your petitions, made his business more material.
Didst perceive it? They're here with me already, whispering, rounding, Cecilia's, and so forth. 'Tis far gone when I shall gust at last. How came it, Camillo, that he did stay?
At the good queen's entreaty.
At the queen's be it. Good should be pertinent, but so it is not. Was this taken by any understanding pate but thine? For thy conceit is soaking, will draw in more than the common blocks. Not noted, is it, but of the finer natures, by some severals of headpiece extraordinary. Lower messes are, perchance, to this business pure blind. Say.
Business, my lord, I think most understand Bohemia stays here longer.
Huh?
Stays here longer.
Aye, but why?
To satisfy your highness and the entreaties of our most gracious mistress.
Satisfy? The entreaties of your mistress? Satisfy? Let that suffice. I have trusted thee, Camillo, with all the nearest things to my heart, wherein priest-like thou hast cleansed my bosom. I from thee departed, thy penitent reformed. But we have been deceived in thy integrity, deceived in that which seems so.
It forbid, my
to
lord.
bite upon, thou art not honest. Or if thou inclinest that way, thou art a coward, which hawks his honesty behind, restraining from course required. Or else thou must be counted a servant grafted in my serious trust, and therein negligent. Or else a fool that sees the game played home, the rich stake drawn, and takes it all for jest.
My gracious lord, I may be negligent, foolish, and fearful. In every one of these no man is free, but that his negligence, his folly, fear among the infinite doings of the world sometime puts forth. In your affairs, my lord, if ever I were willful, negligent, it was my folly. If industriously I played the fool, it was my negligence, not weighing well the end. If ever fearful to do a thing where I the issue doubted, were of the execution did cry out against the non-performance, 'tis a fear which oft infects the wisest. These, my lord, are such allowed infirmities that honesty is never free of. But beseech your grace, be plainer with me. Let me know my trespass by my own visage. If I then deny it, 'tis none of mine.
Had not you seen, Camillo? But that's past doubt. You have, or your eyeglass is thicker than a cuckold's horn. Or heard, for to a vision so apparent, rumor cannot be mute. Or thought, for cogitation resides not in that man that does not think. My wife is slippery? If thou wilt confess, or else be impudently negative, to have nor eyes, nor ears, nor thought, then say my wife's a hobby horse, deserves a name as rank as any flax wench that puts two before her troth plight. Say't and justify it.
I would not be a stander by to hear my sovereign mistress clouded, so without my present vengeance taken. Shrew your heart, you never spoke what did become you less than this, which to reiterate were sin as deep as that, though true.
Is whispering nothing? Is leaning cheek to cheek? Is meeting noses? Kissing with inside lip? Stopping the career of laughter with a sigh? A note infallible of breaking honesty. Horsing foot on foot, skulking in corners, wishing clocks more swift, hours, minutes, noon, midnight, and all eyes blind to the pin and web, but theirs only, that would unseen be wicked. Is this nothing? Why then the world and all that's in't is nothing. The covering sky is nothing. Bohemia nothing. My wife is nothing, nor nothing have these nothings if this be nothing.
Good my lord, be cured of this diseased opinion, and betimes for 'tis most dangerous.
Say it be. 'Tis true.
No, my lord.
It is! You lie, I say thou liest, Camillo, and I hate thee. Canst with thine eyes at once see both good and evil, inclining to them both? Were my wife's liver infected as her life, she would not live the running of one glass.
Who does infect her?
Why, he that wears her like her medal hanging about his neck. Bohemia, who, if I had servants true about me, to see alike mine honor as their profits, their own particular thrifts, they would do that which should undo more doing. I and thou his cupbearer, whom I from meaner form have benched and reared to worship, who may see plainly as heaven sees earth, and earth sees heaven, how I am galled, might bespice a cup to give mine enemy a lasting wink, which draught to me were cordial.
My lord, I could do this, and with no rash potion, but with a lingering dram that should not work maliciously like poison. But I cannot believe this crack to be in my dread mistress, so sovereignly being honorable, I have loved.
Make that thy question, and go rot. Thou dost think I am so muddy, so unsettled, to appoint myself in this vexation solely the purity and whiteness of my sheets, which to preserve is sleep, which being spotted is goads, thorns, nettles, tails of wasps. Give scandal to the blood of the prince, my son, whom I do think is mine and love is mine, without ripe moving to't? Would I do this? Could man so blench?
I must believe you, sir. I do, and will fetch off Bohemia for it. Provided that once he is removed, you will take again your queen as yours at first, and thereby foresealing the injury of tongues and courts and kingdoms known and allied to yours.
Thou dost advise me, even as I mine own course have set down. I'll give no blemish to her honor, none.
My lord, go then, and with countenance as clear as friendship wears at feasts, keep with Bohemia, and with your queen. I am his cupbearer. If from me he have wholesome beverage, account me not your servant.
This is all. Do it, thou hast the one half of my heart. Do it not, thou splitst thine own.
I'll do it, my lord.
I will seem friendly as thou hast advised me.
Oh, miserable lady! What case stand I in? I must be the poisoner of good Polixenes, and my ground to do it is the obedience to a master, one who in rebellion with himself will of all that are his, so too. To do this deed, promotion follows. If I could find example of thousands that had struck anointed kings and flourished after, I'd not do it. But since nor brass, nor stone, nor parchment bears not one, let villainy itself forswear it. I must forsake the court. Do it or no is certain to me a breakneck. Happy star, reign now! Here comes Bohemia.
This is strange. Methinks my favor here begins to warp, not speak. Good day, Camillo.
Hail, most royal sir.
What is the news of the court?
None rare, my lord.
If the king hath on him such a countenance as he had lost some province and a region, loved as he loves himself.
I dare not know.
How dare not? Do not? Do you know and dare not? Be intelligent to me. 'Tis thereabouts, for to yourself what you do know you must, and cannot say you dare not. Good Camillo, your changed complexions are to me a mirror which show me mine changed too. For I must be a party in this alteration, finding myself thus altered with it.
There is a sickness which puts some of us in distemper, but I cannot name the disease, and it is caught of you that yet are well.
Make me not sighted like the basilisk. I have looked on thousands who have sped the better by my regard, but killed none so, Camillo. If you know aught which does behoove my knowledge thereof to be informed, imprisoned not in ignorant concealment.
I may not answer.
A sickness caught of me, and yet I well. I must be answered. Dost thou hear, Camillo? What incidency dost thou guess of harm is creeping toward me?
Sir, I'll tell you. Since I'm charged in honor, and by him that I think honorable, therefore mark my counsel, which must be even as swiftly followed as I mean to utter it, or else yourself and me cry lost, and so good night.
On, good Camillo.
I'm appointed her to murder you.
By whom, Camillo?
By the king.
For what?
He thinks, nay, with all confidence, he swears, as if he had seen it or been an instrument device you to it, that you have touched his queen forbiddenly.
Oh, then my best blood turn to an infected jelly, and my name be yoked with his that did betray the best. Turn then my freshest reputation to a savor that would strike the dullest nostril where I arrive, and my approach be shunned, nay, hated, too, worse than the greatest infection that e'er was heard or read.
Swear his thought over by each particular star in heaven and by all their influences. You may as well forbid the sea, for to obey the moon is or by oath remove or counsel shake the fabric of his folly, which is piled upon by faith and will continue the standing of his body.
How should this grow?
I know not, but I am sure 'tis safer to avoid what's grown than question how 'tis born. If therefore you dare trust my honesty, that lies enclosed in this trunk which you shall bear along in pond, away tonight. Your followers I will whisper to the business, and will by twos and threes at several posterns clear them of the city. For myself, I put my fortunes to your service, which are here by this discovery lost. Be it not uncertain, for by the honor of my parents I have uttered truth, which if you seek to prove I dare not stand by, nor shall you be safer than one condemned by the king's own mouth, thereon his execution sworn.
I do believe thee. I saw his heart in his face. Give me thy hand, be pilot to me, and thy places shall still neighbor mine. My ships are ready, and my people did expect my hence departure 3 days ago. This jealousy is for a precious creature, and as she's rare, must it be great. And as his person's mighty, must it be violent. Good expedition, be my friend, and comfort the gracious queen. Part of his theme, but nothing of his ill-ta'en suspicion. Come, Camillo.
Pardon me, sir, but I just can't find my way back through this fog with all this sand in my eyes. I'm searching for a city that sits under the skies. It's beautifully lit under indigo lights. Slip slowly away. One day, but not today. Things are never quite what they seem, be that under the sun or in discordant dreams. Hazy clover glazes and sweet summer sounds. Feeling I've gone crazy or just forgot. I've spent the evening sitting here and counting my flock while I set my heartbeat to the ticking of clocks. Slip slowly away. One day, but not today.
Take the boy to you, he so troubles me. 'Tis past enduring.
Who has stolen my crystal? Come, young sir, shall I be your playfellow?
No, well, none of you.
Why so, young sir?
I love you better.
Harkye, the queen your mother rounds apace. We shall present our services to a fine new prince one of these days, and then you'd wanton with us, if we would have you.
She is spread of late into a goodly bulk. Good time encounter her. What wisdom stirs amongst you? Come, sir, I implore you again. Pray you sit by us and tell us the tale.
Merry or sad shall it be?
Ask Mary as you will.
A sad tale's best for winter. I have one of goblins and sprites.
Well, let's have that, good sir. Come on, sit down, come on. And do your best to frighten me with your sprites. You're powerful at it.
There was a man
Nay, come sit down, then on.
built by a churchyard. I will tell it softly, young cricket shall not hear it.
Come on then, and give it to me in mine ear.
Was he met there? His train, Camillo with him?
Behind a tuft of pines I met them. Never saw men scour so on their way. I eyed them even to their ships.
How blessed am I in my just censure, in my true opinion. Alack for lesser knowledge, how accursed in being so blessed. There may be in the cup a spider steeped, and one may drink, depart, and yet partake no venom, for his knowledge is not infected. But if one present the abhorred ingredient to his eye, make known how he hath drunk, he cracks his gorge, his sides with violent hefts. I have drunk and seen the spider. Camillo was his help in this, his pander. There's a plot against my life, my crown. All's true that is mistrusted. That false villain whom I employed was pre-employed by him. They have discovered my design, and I remain a pinched thing. Yea, a very trick for them to play at will. How came the postern so easily open?
By her great authority, which often hath no less prevailed than so on your command.
I know it too well. Give me the boy. I am glad you did not nurse him. Though he does bear some signs of me, yet you have too much blood in him.
What is this, sport?
Bear the boy hence. He shall not come about her. Away with him, and let her sport herself with that she's big with. For 'tis Polixenes has made thee swell thus.
But I'd say he had not. And I'll be sworn you would believe my saying her you lean to the nay word.
You, my lords, look on her, mark her well. Be but about to say she's a goodly lady, and the justice of your hearts will thereto add, 'tis pity she's not honest. Honorable, ere you can say she's honest. But be it known from him that has most cause to grieve it should be, she's an adulteress.
A villain say so. The most replenished villain in all the world, he were as much more villain. You, my lord, do but mistake.
You mistake, my lady, Polixenes for Leontes. O thou thing, which I'll not call a creature of thy place, lest barbarism, making me the precedent, should a like language used to all degrees, and mannerly distinguishment leave out betwixt the prince and beggar. I have said she's an adulteress. I have said with whom? More, she's a traitor, and Camillo is a federary with her, and one that knows what she should shame to know herself. That she's a bed swerver, even as bad as those that vulgars give bulls titles. Aye, and privy to this their latest escape.
Life, privy to none of this.
How will this grieve you when you shall come to clearer knowledge that you thus have published me? Gentle my lord, you scarce can write me throughly than to say you did mistake.
No. No, if I mistake in these foundations which I build upon, the center is not big enough to bear a schoolboy's top. Away with her to prison. He who shall speak for her is afar off guilty, but that he speaks.
There's some ill planet reigns. I must be patient till the heavens look with an aspect more favorable. Good my lords, I am not prone to weeping as our sex commonly are. The want of which vain dew perchance shall dry your pities, but I have that honorable grief here which burns worse than tears drown. Beseech you all, my lords, with thoughts so qualified as your charities shall best instruct you measure me. And so the king's will be performed.
Shall I be heard?
Who is't that goes with me? Beseech your highness, my women may be with me, for you see my plight requires it. Do not weep, good fools. There is no cause. When you shall know that your mistress has deserved prison, then abound in tears as I come out. This action I now go on is for my better grace. Adieu, my lord. I never wished to see you sorry, and now I trust I shall. My women come. You have leave.
Go. Do our bidding. Hence!
Beseech your highness, call the queen again.
Be certain what you do, sir, lest your justice prove violence, in which three great ones suffer. Yourself, your queen, your son.
For her, my lord, I dare my life lay down, and will do it, sir, please you to accept it, that the queen is spotless in the eyes of heaven, and to you. I mean in this which you accuse her.
If it proves she's otherwise, I'll keep my stables where I lodge my wife. I'll go in couples with her, then when I see and feel her no farther trust her. For every inch of woman in the world, aye, every dram of woman's flesh is false if she
Hold
be.
your pieces.
Good my lord.
It is not for ourselves we speak, but you. You are abused, and by some Padaron that will be damned for it. Would I knew the villain, I would land damn him.
Cease! No more. You smell this business with a sense as cold as is a dead man's nose. But I do see't and feel't, as you feel doing thus, and see with all the instruments that feel.
If it be so, we need no grave to bury honesty. There's not a grain of it the face to sweeten of the whole dungy earth.
What? Lack I credit?
I had rather you did lack than I, my lord, upon this ground, and more it would content me to have her honor true than your suspicion, be blamed for it how you might.
Why, what need we commune with you of this, but rather follow our forceful instigation? Our prerogative calls not your counsels, but our natural goodness imparts this, which if you, or stupefied or seeming so in skill, cannot or will not relish a truth like us, inform yourselves, we need no more of your advice. The matter, the loss, the gain, the ordering on it is all properly ours.
And I wish, my liege, you had only, in your silent judgment, tried it without more overture.
How could that be? Either thou art most ignorant by age, or thou wert born a fool. Camillo's flight added to their familiarity, which was as gross as ever touched conjecture. Yet for a greater confirmation, for in an act of this importance 'twere most piteous to be wild, I have dispatched in post to sacred Delphos, to Apollo's temple, Cleomenes and Dion, whom you know of stuff sufficiency. There from the oracle they will bring all, whose spiritual counsel shall stop or spur me. Have I done well?
Well done, my lord.
Though I am satisfied and need no more than what I know, yet shall the oracle give rest to the minds of others, such as he whose ignorant credulity will not come up to the truth. So have we thought it good from our free person she should be confined, lest that the treachery of the two fled hence be left her to perform. Come, follow us. We are to speak in public, for this business will raise us all.
Laughter, as I take it, if the good truth were known.
Hazy clover blazes and sweet summer sounds. Feeling I've gone crazy or just forgot. I've spent the evening sitting here and counting my flock while I set my heartbeat to the ticking of clocks. Slip slowly away. One day but not today. Never quite what they seem, be that under the sun or in discordant dreams.
The keeper of the prison, call to her, let her have knowledge who I am. Good lady, now court in Europe is too good for thee. What dost thou in prison? Now, good madam, you know me, do you not?
For a worthy lady, and one whom much I honor.
Pray you then conduct me to the queen?
I may not, madam. To the contrary, I have expressed commandment.
Here's such a day to lock up honesty and honor from the access of gentle visitors. Is it lawful, pray you, to see her women? Any of them, Emilia?
So please you, madam, I shall bring Emilia forth.
I pray now, call her.
And madam, I must be present at your conference.
Will be it so, prithee? Here's such ado to make no stain, a stain as passes coloring. Dear gentlewoman, how fares our gracious lady?
As well as one so great and so forlorn may hold together. On her frights and griefs which never tender lady hath borne greater, she is something before her time delivered.
A boy?
A daughter, and a goodly babe, lusty and like to live. The queen receives much comfort in it, says, my poor prisoner, I am innocent as you.
I dare be sworn. Of these dangerous, unsafe loons that the king beshrew them. He must be told on it, and he shall. The office becomes a woman best. I'll take it upon me. If I prove honey-mouthed, let my tongue blister, and never to my red-looked anger be the trumpet any more. Pray you, Emilia, commend my best obedience to the queen. If she dares trust me with her little babe, I'll show it to the king and undertake to be her advocate to the loudest. We do not know how he may soften at the sight of the child, but the silence often of pure innocence persuades when speaking fails.
Most worthy madam, your honor and your goodness is so evident that your free undertaking cannot miss a thriving issue. There is no lady living so meet for this great errand. Please your ladyship to visit the next room. I'll presently acquaint the queen with your most noble offer.
I'll use that tongue I have. If wit flow from it as boldness from my bosom, let it not be doubted. I shall do good.
Now be you blessed for it. I'll to the queen. Please you come something nearer. If it please the queen to send the babe, I know not what I shall incur to pass it, having no warrant.
You need not fear it. This child was prisoner to the womb, and is by law and process of great nature thence freed and enfranchised, not a party to the anger of the king, nor guilty of, if any be, the trespass of the queen.
I do believe it.
Do not you fear it. Upon mine honor, I will stand betwixt you and danger.
These months are filled with days without you, like being in your living room with no direction home. I wish that I had never known the truth. I've never let my thoughts turn back to all those good times that we had. No, maybe I'll see you down the line, but this notion of reality is so fragile. Hearts get broken all the time.
Nor night nor day no rest. It is but weakness to bear the matter thus. Mere weakness. If the cause were not in being, part of the cause, she the adulteress. For the harlot king is quite beyond mine arm, out of the blankened level of my brain, plot-proof. But she I can hook to me. Say that she were gone, given to the fire. A moiety of my rest might come to me again. Who's there?
My lord,
How does the boy?
he took good rest tonight. 'Tis hoped his sickness is discharged.
To see his nobleness. Conceiving the dishonor of his mother, he straight declined, drooped, took it deeply, fastened and fixed the shame onto himself, threw off his spirit, his appetite, his sleep, and downright languished. Leave me solely. Go, see how he fares. Fie, no thought of him. The very thought of my revengers that way recoil upon me. In himself too mighty, and in his parties his alliance. Let him be until a time may serve. For present vengeance, take it on her. Camillo and Polixenes laugh at me, make their pastime at my sorrow. They should not laugh if I could reach them, nor shall she within my power.
Lady, you must not enter.
Nay, rather good, my lords, be second to me. Fear you is tyrannous passion, more alas, in the queen's life. A gracious, innocent soul, more free than he is jealous.
That's enough. Madam, he hath not slept tonight, commanded none should come at him.
Not so hot, good sir. I come to bring him sleep. To such as you that creep like shadows by him, and do sigh at each his needless heavings, such as you nourish the cause of his waking. I do come with words as medicinal as true, honest as either to purge him of that humor that presses him from sleep.
What noise there, ho?
No noise, my lord, but needful conference about some gossips for your highness.
How? Away with that audacious lady! Antigonus, I charge thee that she should not come about me. I knew she would.
I told her so, my lord, on your displeasure's peril and on mine, she should not visit you.
What, canst not rule her?
From all dishonesty she can. And this, unless she take the course that you have done, commit me for committing honor. Trust it, she shall not rule me.
Well, how you now, you hear? When she will take the rein, I let her run, but she'll not stumble.
Good my liege, I come and I beseech you hear me, who profess myself your loyal servant, your physician, your most obedient counselor. Yet that dares less appear so in comforting your evils than such as most seem yours. I say I come from your good queen.
Good queen?
Good queen, my lord. Good queen. I say good queen, and would by combat make her good, so were I a man the worst about you.
Force her hence.
Let him that makes but trifles of his eyes first hand me. On mine own accord I'll off, but first I'll do my errand. The good queen, for she is good, hath brought you forth a daughter. Here it is. Commends it to your blessing.
Out! A mankind witch! Hence with her out a door, a most intelligencing bawd.
Not so. I am as ignorant in that as you, and so entitling me. And no less honest than you are mad, which is enough, I'll warrant, as this world goes to pass for honest.
Traitors! Will you not push her out? Give her the bastard. Take up the bastard, take it up, I say.
Forever unvenerable be thy hands, if thou takest up the princess by that forced baseness which he has put upon it.
She dreads her wife.
So would I you did. Then 'twere past all doubt you'd call your children yours.
A nest of traitors!
I am none by this good light.
Nor I, nor any but one that's here, and that's himself. For he, the sacred honor of himself, his queens, his hopeful sons, betrays to slander, whose sting is sharper than the swords, and will not. For as the case now stands, it is a curse he cannot be compelled to it. Once remove the root of his opinion, which is rotten as ever oak or stone was sound.
A collet of boundless tongue, who late hath beat her dull wife, and now baits me. This brat is none of mine. It is the issue of Polixenes. Hence with it, and together with the dam commit them to the fire.
It is yours. And might we lay the old proverb to your charge, so like you 'tis the worse. Behold, my lord. Although the prince be little, the whole matter and copy of the father, eye, nose, lip, trick of his frown, his forehead, nay, the valley, the pretty dimples of his chin and cheek, his smiles, very mold and frame of hand, nail, finger.
A gross hag, and lawful thou art worthy to be hanged, that wilt not stay her tongue.
Hang all of us who cannot do that, you'll leave yourself hardly one subject.
Once more, take her hence.
A most unworthy and unnatural lord can do no more.
I'll have thee burnt.
I care not. It is a heretic which makes the fire, not she which burns in it. I'll not call thee tyrant, but this most cruel usage of your queen, not able to produce more accusation than your own weak-hinged fantasy, something savors of tyranny, and will ignoble make you, yea, scandalous to the world.
On your allegiance, out of the chamber with her. Were I a tyrant, where were her life? She durst not call me so, if she did know me one. Away with her.
I pray you do not push me. I'll be gone. Look to your babe, my lord. 'Tis yours. Jove, send her a better guiding spirit. What needs these hands? You that are thus so tender o'er his follies will never do him good. Not one of you. So, farewell. We are gone.
Thou traitor, hast set on thy wife to this. My child, away with it. Even thou that has a heart so tender o'er it, take it hence, and see it instantly consumed with fire. Even thou, and none but thou. Take it up straight, Within this hour bring me word 'tis done, and by good testimony, or I'll seize thy life, with what thou else call'st thine. If thou refuse and wilt encounter with my wrath, say so. The bastard brains with these my proper hands shall I dash out. Go, take it to the fire, for thou set'st on thy wife.
I did not, my liege. These lords, my noble fellows, if they please, can clear me in it.
We can, my royal liege. She is not guilty of her coming hither.
You're liars all.
Beseech your highness, give us better credit. We have always truly served you, and beseech so to esteem of us. And on our knees we beg, as recompense for our dear services past and to come, that you do change this purpose, which being so horrible, so bloody, must lead on to some foul issue. We all kneel.
I am a feather for each wind that blows. Shall I live on to see this bastard kneel and call me father? Better burn it now than curse it then. But be it. Let it live, it shall not neither. You there, come you hither. You that have been so tenderly officious, what will you venture to save this brat's life?
Anything, my lord, that my ability may undergo and nobleness impose. At least thus much. I'll pawn the little blood which I have left to save the innocent. Anything possible.
It shall be possible. Swear by this sword thou wilt perform my bidding.
I will, my lord.
Mark and perform it, seest thou. For the fail of any point, it shall not only be death to thyself, but to thy lewd-tongued wife, whom for this time we pardon. We enjoin thee, as thou art liegeman to us, that thou carry this female bastard hence, and that thou take it to some remote and desert place quite out of our dominions, and that there thou leave it, without more mercy, to its own protection and favor of the climate. As by strange fortune it came to us, I do in justice charge thee on thy soul's peril and thy body's torture, that thou commend it strangely to some place where chance may nurse or end it. Take it up.
I swear to do this. Though a present death had been more merciful. Come on, poor babe. Some powerful spirit instruct the kites and ravens to be thy nurses. Wolves and bears, they say, casting their savageness aside, have done like offices of pity. Sir, be prosperous in more than this deed does require, and blessing against this cruelty fight on thy side. Poor thing, condemned to loss.
No, I'll not rear another's issue.
Please your highness, posts from those you sent to the oracle are come an hour since. Cleomenes and Dion, being well arrived from Delphus, are both landed, hasting to the court.
So please you, sir, their speed hath been beyond account.
23 days they have been absent. 'Tis good speed. For tells the great Apollo, suddenly will have the truth of this appear. Prepare you, lords. Summon a session that may arraign our most disloyal lady. For as she hath been publicly accused, so shall she have a just and open trial. While she lives, my heart will be a burden to me. Leave me, and think upon my bidding.
Overthinking everything once again. I get so stuck in my head, can't figure out why I feel everything and nothing. Maybe it's a symptom of forgetting about a piece of love. I hear a call on my window, a song that I've always known. And when I look out, I see you there, morning dove, and you say to me, you can feel
This sessions to our great grief we pronounce, even pushes against our heart. The party tried the daughter of a king, our wife, and one of us too much beloved. Let us be cleared of being tyrannous, as we so openly proceed in justice, which shall have due course even to the guilt or the purgation. Produce the prisoner.
It is His Highness's pleasure that the Queen appear in person here in court.
Read the indictment.
Hermione, Queen to the worthy Leontes, King of Sicilia, thou art here accused and arraigned of high treason, in committing adultery with Polixenes, King of Bohemia, and conspiring with Camillo to take away the life of our sovereign lord the king, thy royal husband. The pretense whereof being by circumstances partly laid open, thou, Hermione, contrary to the faith and allegiance of a true subject, didst counsel and aid them for their better safety to fly away by night.
Since what I am to say must be but that which contradicts my accusation, and the testimony on my part no other but what comes from myself, it shall scarce boot me to say not guilty. Mine integrity being counted falsehood shall, as I express it, be so received. But thus, if powers divine behold our human actions as they do, I doubt not then that innocence shall make false accusation blush, and tyranny tremble at patience. You, my lord, best know, who least will seem to do so, my life hath been as continent, as chaste, as true, as I am now unhappy, which is more than history can pattern, though devised and played to take spectators. For behold me, the fellow of a royal bed, which owe a moiety to the throne, a great king's daughter, the mother to a hopeful prince, here standing to prate and talk for life and honor for who please to come and hear. For life, I prize it as I weigh grief, which I would spare. For honor, 'tis a derivative from me to mine, and only that I stand for. I appeal to your conscience, sir. Before Polixenes came to your court, how I was in your grace. How merited to be so. Since he came, with what encounter so incurrent, I have strained to appear thus. If one jot beyond the bound of honor, or an act or will that way inclining, hardened be the hearts of all that hear me, and my nearest of kin cry, fie upon my grave.
I ne'er heard yet that any of these bolder vices wanted less impudence to gainsay what they did than to perform it first.
True enough, though 'tis a saying, sir, not due to me.
You will not own it.
More than mistress of which comes to me in name of fault I must not at all acknowledge. For Polixenes, with whom I am accused, I do confess I loved him as an honor he required. With a love even such, so and no other as yourself commanded, which I think not to have done had been in me both disobedience and ingratitude to you and toward your friend, whose love had spoke even since it could speak freely from an infant that it was yours. Now for conspiracy, I know not how it tastes, though it be dished for me to try how. All I know of it is that Camillo was an honest soul, and why she left your courts, the gods themselves wotting no more than I are ignorant.
You knew of her departure, as you know what you have undertaken to do in her absence.
Sir, you speak a language that I understand not. My life stands in the level of your dreams, which I'll lay down.
Your actions are my dreams. You had a bastard by Polixenes, and I but dreamed it. As you are past all shame, those of your fact are so past all truth, which should deny concerns more than avails, for as thy brat hath been cast out, like to itself, no father owning it, which is indeed more criminal in thee than it. so thou shalt feel our justice, in whose easiest passage look for no less than death.
So spare your threats. The bug which you would fright me with I seek. To me can life be no commodity. The crown and comfort of my life, your favor, I do give lost. For I do feel it gone, but know not how it went. My second joy and first fruits from my body, from his presence, I am barred like one infectious. My third comfort, starred most unluckily, is from my breast. The innocent milk in his most innocent mouth, held out to murder myself on every post proclaimed a strumpet. With immodest hatred the child that privilege denied, which longs to women of old fashion, and lastly hurried here to this place, in the open air before I've got strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me, what blessings I have here alive that I should fear to die? Therefore proceed. But yet hear this. Mistake me not. No life, I prize it not a straw, but for mine honor, which I would free. If I shall be condemned upon surmises, all proof slipping else but what your jealousies awake, I tell you 'tis rigor and not law. Your honor's all. I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo be my judge.
This your request is altogether just. Therefore bring forth, and in Apollo's name, his oracle.
The Emperor of Russia was my father. Oh, that he were alive and here beholding his daughter's trial, that he did but see the flatness of my misery, yet with eyes of pity and not revenge.
Break up the seals and read.
Hermione is chaste, Polixenes blameless, Camillo a true subject, Leontes a jealous tyrant. His innocent babe truly begotten, and the king shall live without an heir, if that which is lost be not found.
Blessed be the great Apollo.
Praise.
Hast thou read truth?
Aye, my lord, even so here as it is set down.
There is no truth at all in the oracle. The sessions shall proceed. This is mere falsehood.
My lord, the king, the king!
What is the business?
Oh, sir, I shall be hated to report it. The prince, your son, with mere conceit and fear of the queen's speed, is gone.
How? Gone?
Is dead.
Apollo's angry, and the heavens themselves do strike at my injustice. How now there?
This news is mortal to the queen. Look down and see what death is doing.
Take her hence. Her heart is but o'ercharged. She will recover. I have too much believed mine own suspicion. Beseech you, tenderly apply to her some remedies for life. Apollo, pardon my great profaneness against thine oracle. I'll reconcile me to Polixenes, new woo my queen, recall the good Camillo, whom I proclaim a woman of truth, of mercy. For being transported by my jealousies to bloody thoughts and to revenge, I chose Camillo for the minister to poison my friend Polixenes, which had been done but that the good mind of Camillo tardied my swift command. though I with death and with reward did threaten and encourage her. Not doing most humane. How she glisters through my rust, and how her piety does my deeds make the blacker.
Woe the while! Oh, cut my lace, lest my heart cracking it break too! What studied torments tyrant has for me! What wheels, racks, fires! What flame! Boiling in leads or oils! What old or new torture must I receive, whose every word deserves the taste of thy most worst? Thy tyranny, together working with thy jealousy's fancies too weak for boys, too green and idle for girls of 9. Oh, think what they have done, and then run mad indeed, stark mad. For all thy bygone fooleries were but spices of it. That thou betrayedst Polixenes, 'twas nothing thou did but show thee of a fool, inconstant and damnable and grateful. Poor trespasses, more monstrous standing by, whereof I reckon the casting forth to crows thy baby daughter. To be or none a little, though a devil would have shed water out of fire ere done it. Nor is it directly laid to thee, the death of the young prince, whose honorable thoughts doth hide for one so tender cleft the heart, that could conceive of a gross and foolish sire blemished dam. This is not, no laid to thy answer. But the last, O lords, when I have said cry woe, the queen, the sweetest, dearest creature's dead, and vengeance for it not dropped down yet.
The higher powers forbid.
I'll say she's dead. I'll swear it. If word nor oath prevail not, go and see. If you can bring tincture or luster in her lip, heat outwardly or breath within, I would serve thee as I do the gods. But, O thou tyrant, do not repent these things, for they are heavier than all thy woes can stir. Therefore betake to nothing but despair. 10,000 knees, 10,000 years together, naked, fasting upon a barren mountain, and still winter and storm perpetual could not move the gods to look the way thou wert.
Go on. Go on. Thou canst not speak too much. I have deserved all tongues to talk their bitterest.
All faults I make, when I have come to know them, I do repent. Alas, I have showed too much the rashness of a woman. He is touched at the noble heart. What's gone and what's past help to be past grief. Do not receive affliction at my petition. I beseech you, rather let me be punished, that I have minded you of what you should forget. No, my good liege, sir. Royal sir, forgive a foolish woman. The love I bore your queen. Now foolish again. I'll speak of her no more, nor of your children. I'll not remember you of my own lord who is lost too. Take your patience too, and I'll say nothing.
Thou didst speak but well when most the truth, which I receive better than to be pitied of thee. Prithee, bring me to the dead bodies of my queen and son. One grave shall be for both. Upon them shall the causes of their death appear, unto our shame, perpetual. Once a day I'll visit the chapel where they lie, and tears shed there shall be my recreation. So long will nature bear up with this exercise. So long I daily vow to use it. Come and lead me to these sorrows.
Overthinking everything once again. I get so stuck in my head, can't figure out why I feel everything and nothing. Maybe it's a symptom of forgetting about a piece of love. I hear a call on my window, a song that I've always known. And when I look out, I see you there, a morning dove, and you say to me, you can feel hurt, cry. You'll relearn to fly. You can find your home in any place where you put love. It's always there, just let it out and dig it on up. Ooh.
Thou art perfect then. Our ship hath touched upon the deserts of Bohemia.
Ay, my lord, in fear we have landed in ill time. The skies look grimly and threaten present blusters. In my conscience, the heavens that we have at hand are angry and frown upon us.
Their sacred wills be done. Go, get aboard. Look to thy bark. I'll not be long before I call upon thee.
Make your best haste and go not too far into the land. 'Tis like to be loud weather. Besides, this place is famous for the creatures of prey that keep upon it.
Go thou away. I'll follow instantly.
I'm glad at heart to be rid of the business.
I had heard, but not believed, the spirits of the dead may walk again. If such thing be, thy mother appeared to me last night, for ne'er was a dream so like a waking. To me comes a creature, sometimes her head on one side, some another. I never saw a vessel of like sorrow, so filled and so becoming. In pure white robes, like very sanctity, did she approach my cabin where I lay. Thrice bowed before me, and gasping to begin some speech, her eyes became two spouts. The fury spent, anon did this break from her. Good Antigonus, since fate against thy better disposition hath made thy person for the thrower out of my poor babe, according to thine oath, places remote enough are in Bohemia. There, weep and leave it crying. And for the babe is counted lost forever. Perdita, I prithee call it. For this ungentle business put upon thee by my lord, thou ne'er shalt see thy wife Paulina more. And with shrieks she melted into air. Affrighted much, I did in time collect myself, and thought this was so, and no slumber. Dreams are toys, yet, for once, yea, superstitiously, I will be squared by this. I do believe Hermione hath suffered death, and that Apollo would, this being indeed the issue of King Polixenes, should here be laid, for life or death, upon the earth of its right father. Blossom, speed thee well. There lie, there thy countenance, there this, that if fortune please, both breed thee pretty and still rest thine. The storm begins. Poor wretch, that for thy mother's fault art thus exposed to loss and what may follow. Weep I cannot, but my heart bleeds, and most accursed am I to be by oath enjoined to this. Farewell. The day frowns more and more. Thou'rt like to have a lullaby too rough. I never saw the heavens so dim by day. Well, may I hit aboard?
Filled
I would there were no age between 10 and 23, or that youth would sleep out the rest, for there's nothing in the between but getting wenches with child, wronging the ancestry, stealing, fighting. Hark you now, would any but these boiled brains of 19 and 22 hunt this weather? They have scared away 2 of my best sheep. Wahoo! Which I fear the wolf will sooner find than the master. Wahoo! If anywhere I have them, 'tis by the seaside, browsing the ivy. Wahoo! Good luck ain't be thy will. What have we here? Mercy on, a bairn. A very pretty bairn. A boy or a child, I wonder. A pretty one, a very pretty one. Sure, some scape. Though I may not be bookish, I can read waiting gentle woman in the scape. This has been some stair work, some trunk work, some behind door work. They were warmer that got this, and the poor thing is here. Yet, I'll take pity on it, and I'll tarry till my son comes. He hallooed but even now. What, art so near? If thou see a thing to talk on when thou art dead and rotten, come hither. What ailest thou, man?
I have seen 2 such sights by sea and by land. But I am not to say it is the sea, for it is now the sky. Betwixt the firmament and it, you cannot thrust a bodkin's point.
Why, boy, how is it?
Oh, I would you did but see how it chafes, how it rages, how it takes up the shore. But that's not to the point. Oh, the most piteous cry of the poor souls. Sometimes to see 'em and not to see 'em. And now the ship boring the moon with her mainmast, and anon swallowed with yeast and froth, as you thrust a clerk into a hogshead. And then for the land service, to see how the bear tore out her shoulder bone. Oh, and she cried to me for help, and to put an end of the ship, to see how the sea flapped, dragging it, plow! But the first, the poor souls roared, and the sea mocked them. And the poor gentlewoman roared, and the bear mocked her, both roaring louder than the sea or the weather.
Name of mercy, when was this, boy?
Now! I have not winked since I saw these sights. The men are not yet cold under the water, nor the bear half dined on the noblewoman. He's at it now.
Would I had been by to have helped the lady. Heavy matters. Heavy matters. But look thee here. Now bless thyself. Thou medst with things dying, I with things newborn. Here's a sight for thee. Look thee, a barren cloth for a squire's child. And look thee, take up, open it. What's within? It was told me I should be rich by the fairies. This is some changeling. Open it. What's within?
You're a made old man. If the sins of your youth are forgiven you, you're well to live. Gold! Oh, gold!
That is fairy gold, boy, and 'twill prove so. Up with it. Keep close. Home, home. The next way. We are lucky, boy, and to be so still requires nothing but secrecy. Let my sheep go. Come, good boy, the next way home.
Go you the next way with your findings. I'll see if the bear be gone from the gentlewoman, and how much he has eaten. They are never cursed but when they are hungry. If there's anything left, I'll bury it.
That is a good deed. If thou mayest discern that by what is left of her what she is, fetch me to the sight of her.
Marry will I, and you shall help to put it in the ground.
'Tis a lucky day, boy, and we'll do good deeds on it.
I that please some try all, of joy and terror, of good and bad, that makes and unfolds error. Now take upon me in the name of time to use my wings. Impute it not a crime to me or my swift passage that I slide o'er 16 years and leave the growth untried of that wide gap. Since it is in my power to o'erthrow law, and in one self-born hour to plant and o'erwhelm custom, let me pass the same I am ere ancientest order was, or what is now received. I witness to the times that brought them in, so shall I do the freshest things now reigning, and make stale the glistering of this present, as my tale now seems to it.
Your patience disallowing, I turn my glass and give my scene such growing as you had slept between. Leontes leaving, the effects of his fond jealousies so grieving that he shuts up himself. Imagine me, gentle spectator, that I now may be in fair Bohemia, and remember well I mentioned a child of the king, which Florizel I now name to you, and with speed so paced to speak of Perdita, now grown in grace, equal with wondering. What of her ensues I list not prophesy, but let time's news be known when 'tis brought forth. A shepherd's daughter, and what to her adheres which follows after is the argument of time. Of this allow, if ever you have spent time worse ere now, if never, that time herself doth say, she wishes earnestly you never may.
Overthinking everything once again, I get so stuck in my head, can't figure out why I feel everything and nothing. Maybe it's a symptom of forgetting about a piece of love. I hear a call on my window.